to a new of Today. Actually, today is a special edition as it will focus on Egyptian-Bahraini relations. As we've just watched a press conference for Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry and his Bahraini counterpart Abdulatif bin Rashid Al Zayani, the two foreign ministers highlighted the main issues that topped the agenda of the talks of President Fattah al-Sisi and his Bahraini counterpart King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. In the press conference, the foreign ministers highlighted the issues that tackles several that focuses on Arab and regional issues of mutual concern, as well as unfolding regional and international crises. They also talked about the signing of a number of agreements in different fields of cooperation between the two countries. Now we are joined over the phone by Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
So, Ambassador Gamal, now we have seen the press conference between Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry and his Bahraini counterpart. What's your comment on the press conference, and can you highlight the main issues that were mentioned in it?
It's quite obvious that the Arab countries are in a sort of deep consultation to prepare for the coming meeting of the Gulf states, which will host the American president also.
Yes.
And by the way, of course, we have something on the international level which concerns us, something on the region, many regional problems and files. And we have bilateral relations also. So Sameh Shoukry, here he is on the level of bilateral relations. We are concerned about attracting more and more Arab investors to Egypt.
Yes.
We are lucky to say that Egypt is one of the largest attractive countries in the Arab world for investment. This is good, but not good enough, because Arabs are investing abroad 20 times like what they are investing in their own countries. We want to change this, and to change this, of course, you need to ameliorate the situation of bureaucracy, the banking system, road system. Many things have to be changed also in order to make ourselves more attractive to more and more foreign direct investment. And this is part of what Sameh Shoukry is doing in Bahrain. You know, of course, that Bahrain is one of the financial centers in the Arab world, and they are doing a beautiful job in the Arab world concerning the banking system and finance.
So how do you see the Egyptian-Bahraini relations, and how far they have developed in recent period?
It is excellent. And by the way, I don't know if many people know that many Egyptians who lived in or who are living in Bahrain, they got the citizenship of Bahrain also. They have double nationality. So the King of Bahrain make a point to welcome Egyptians living in Bahrain. So to my knowledge, since years, we have more than 5,000 Egyptians became Bahrainis.
Yes, Mr. Ambassador, also what are the different fields of cooperation between the two countries in the coming period, and what are the areas of cooperation that Cairo and Manama will focus on?
We succeeded to establish a free trade area among all the Arab countries. And it makes trade going well and not bad at all. But not enough. Why? Because 70% of what we are importing from abroad is still, we don't make it. Mainly in three main files.
Yes.
First, we do not produce machines. We have to start producing machines to make textile, to make yarn. We don't produce means and ways of transport and communications. We have to start this industry. And the big challenge of the food gap in the Arab world. We have to start producing our food, and we have a $55 billion gap of our food in the Arab world. This is shame on us. while we have countries like Sudan, like Iraq, like Syria, all of them can expand their ability to produce more and more food. It is a matter of finance. It is a matter of concern. It's a matter that somebody needs to show us where to go, where to do.
Yes, President El-Sisi's visits to the two Gulf countries come less than 3 weeks before the Gulf Cooperation Council GCC plus 3 summit that will be held in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on 15th on July and will bring together leaders of the GCC in addition to Egypt, Iraq, Jordan and the United States. So how do you see the importance of this summit? To what extent these meetings are considered preparations for this summit?
This is very healthy activities because we're preparing our position to face our American guests with a sort of unified or organized Arab position.
Yes.
Because we expect, of course, that he's coming with some proposals for many of our problems, that we are going to cooperate with the United States, which we consider a good alliance. And of course, we have to prepare our agenda because
Yes.
our priorities is not the same of the United States. And sometimes I am amazed that some of our friends coming from the States or from Europe are giving us the wrong priority. We should stick to our priority. We should stick to what we need to deal with. That is why we are making all these consultations, and we shall come to this meeting with the President of the United States with a sort of a unified Arab position.
Yes. So, sir, also, can you shed light on the historical ties that bind the two countries?
As you well know, when we established the Arab League in 1946,
Yes.
only 7 Arab countries were independent, and all the Gulf states, except Saudi Arabia, were occupied by the British colony. So we spent a lot since Muhammad Ali Pasha, since Gamal Abdel Nasser, in order to get the freedom of all these countries.
Yes.
So we feel that we share with them a good part of their history. And I am quite sure that all the Arab old people, they know this period of their history. That's why we feel that we are responsible for the security of the Gulf states. And as our president said rightly, that it is a matter of the way, the timing from Cairo to any Arab capital. We are ready to protect them politically, security, and even military. If you visit any of our military organizations like Nasser Academy, you will find tens of military people coming from Bahrain, coming from any Gulf state in order to be trained there. As you well know, that we have sort of training organized process between
Yes.
Egypt and the Saudis, between Egypt and the Emirates, and so on. So we are very close on the security matter and the military also.
If we talk about Egypt's relations with the Arab countries, to what extent Egypt has regained its position in the Arab region 9 years after the 30th of June revolution?
As a matter of fact, you know that we were lacking in our diplomacy the most effective level of diplomacy, which is the presidential diplomacy. We were using ambassadors, we were using ministerial level, but we lacked and we were missing the president to be there. Now our president is going everywhere in the world, from Tokyo in the far east to
Yes.
Paris in the far west, to every Arab country. He started his mission by going to visit Algeria to make sure that the president was in good health. He visited almost every Arab country, or receiving the head or the king of all the Arab countries. So this shows that how important the Arab file is to our foreign relations, and we consider, we are proud that we are talking the same language in the 22 Arab countries. This is something which adds to our ability to more and more cooperation.
Yes, also, Mr. Ambassador, the President wrapped up a visit to Oman yesterday. How do you see this visit and its importance and strategic relations with Oman?
Oman is very important because it's sort of a classic country with a very stable policy. So we can depend on Oman, whatever we are planning for. So it is a good partner always. And we are proud that we already hosted the Sultan of Oman, and our president now is being hosted in Oman. This shows how close the relations, how we can depend on each other, and it will continue like that. I hope even it will be even much more closer relations between Egypt and Oman.
So if we talk about the areas of investments that are available for Bahraini investments and the main areas of interest to Bahraini investors.
The thing that the Arabs prefer up till now to invest on services, whether it is banks or hotels or real estate. We need the Arabs to come forward to other areas where we need industries, we need to invest on food, to invest in our food gap also, as I said before. So it depends on our ability to explain to our partners how we can appreciate and how we can help the investor to come. This also put burdens on our mass media, because personally and frankly speaking, I'm not happy with the performance of our mass media. Once I said we are encouraging investment and foreign investors. Give me one movie in our history that presents a good investor. They never talk about our good investors, the man who established Bank Misr or the man who established any other company, but they concentrate on the corrupted businessmen. This is not good to make a sort of propaganda for the investor, because it shows that we do not encourage enough those who are need and who are keen to invest in our country. We have to ameliorate the approach of our mass media and the movie industry towards what do we mean by Arab investors.
Yes, Mr. Ambassador, also the Russian-Ukrainian war topped the agenda of the talks between President Fattah Sisi and his Bahraini counterpart. How can Egypt cooperate with the Arab neighbors to face the repercussions of the war?
I do not forget here that we are, after all, non-allied country, and the non-allied countries are more than 130 countries, and we should stay like that in order to make us able to approach all the parties in order to bring solution to whatever we see. Thank God that we face this problem quite well. Some people were worried about our needs of wheat and cereals, but wheat and cereals, you can get it from anywhere in the world. And also we are starting to plant 1 million fidans more to plant our food. So I'm not worried about that, but still Egypt is in the middle of everywhere. We are a country which can mediate between Russia and Ukraine, between Russia and the United States, and I hope we shall continue doing this job.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you for being with us. And back to our program, and one of our reports today, it's Bahrain and Egypt have pledged to take their strategic cooperation to a new high. This pledge came as President Fattah al-Sisi met Bahraini King Hamad bin Khalifa in Manama, his second leg in a Gulf tour. King Hamad also praised Cairo's pivotal role as the cornerstone of security in the region. President Sisi also met with Crown Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, where they reviewed growing relations and ways to further strengthen them. Here is the story.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi continues on Wednesday his official visit to Bahrain, the second top of his Gulf tour, presidential spokesman Bassem Radi has announced. President al-Sisi was received on Tuesday by King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa upon his arrival at Manama Airport and the Royal Al Sakhr Palace. He had talks with Bahrain's King Hamad, where they discussed regional and international issues of mutual concerns that require concentrated efforts to protect Arab national security and confront attempts to destabilize and interfere in domestic affairs of Arab countries. President al-Sisi started his Gulf tour on Monday with a two-day visit to Oman, where he met Sultan Haytham bin Tariq. The two leaders stressed that the security and stability of Yemen are of maximum importance within the framework of security of the Arab region and Red Sea states. Earlier this month, President al-Sisi received the Bahraini king in Sharm el-Sheikh, where both leaders reviewed prospects of cooperation in economic and investment fields and discussed regional and international issues. The volume of trade exchange between Egypt and Bahrain recorded $500 million in 2020, according to the Egyptian embassy in Bahrain. Bahrain's investment in Egypt stands at $3.2 billion through 216 projects, according to the Bahraini ambassador to Cairo in June 2021. During King Hamad's visit, the president hosted a trilateral summit with the participation of Jordanian King Abdullah II, who arrived a day later. During the summit, President al-Sisi affirmed Egypt's keenness to expand cooperation with both countries and to boost joint Arab action to face regional and international challenges. The president's Gulf tour comes less than 3 weeks before the GCC+3 summit, which will be held in Saudi Arabia's Jeddah on 15th of July. The summit will bring together leaders of the GCC in addition to Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, and the US.
Well, dear viewers, that's all for today's edition of Africa Today. Thank you for watching.